Hawk Fanatic, brought to you by Deary Brothers Ford on Mormon Trek. Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Mike Zekeys for cars. GT Car and his crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling. By the way, going back to Deary Brothers Ford, that you pay what the employees pay sale, that ends July the 6th. Okay. GT Cars crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling. Supple's Flowers, home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Harty and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. Diamond Dreams Sports Academy. Senior Benefits. Premier Automotive in North Liberty, the Oxyokin and the Amanas. Streets Maintenance, plumbing and remodeling. Dr. Lance Forbes, Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids, and Big Dog Tech Solutions. Here's Tom Suter and the injured Pat Harty from HawkFanatic.com.
Suter took care of me. He gave me disinfectant, and it was funny. I couldn't find the cut. I couldn't see the cut anymore. It kind of disappeared. It was so small. But it did draw blood. I was bleeding at the recycling plant.
You were bleeding like a stuck pig, I hear.
It was horrible.
Okay, but you didn't get any blood here.
Oh, no.
Okay.
God,
he rubbed it on the carpet. It's okay.
Yeah, God forbid I've seen.
Don't rub anything on the
I can only. My hand's probably the only thing that hasn't been rubbed on this carpet. Wopsy turns this carpet into you-know-what.
My God, you guys, Ann baked some brownie-type things last night. They were fantastic. I left them at home.
I was going to say, why aren't they here?
Yeah, I left them at home.
What do you think of that?
Ann's going to kill me.
I don't like it at all.
I'm not happy
No,
with that
you shouldn't be.
No.
I'd throw
they
me
were
out.
just plain brownies, though, right?
Well, yeah, they didn't have any stuff in them. No, they're not brownies per se. It's they're cut like brownies, but they're real good.
See, I like the basic brownie with, what do they call the white stuff on top? It's powdered sugar? Is that Isn't it a special kind, though? It's a...
Well, it's called confectioner
That's what
sugar.
Yeah, I like those brownies.
Yeah.
And I looked, Hy-Vee has them cut up in little squares of 2.
Yeah.
And I looked, and I swear to God, I think it said each square, and they're not that big, was 530 calories. So you eat 2 of those little things. 1,000 calories.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll bet they're delicious.
Oh, I mean, they are, but I mean, wow, that's a lot of calories for just a few brief moments of joy.
Yeah.
I did have a Sam's Pizza last night.
Good.
You know, about one every other week. It was 12-inch, and it was easy. I was hungry. 4th time in a row, I've gone with the sausage and green pepper. I'm not sure.
Sausage, green pepper's a good combo.
It's a good combo.
I just went across the highway and got 2 pieces of chicken at Quick Start.
That sounds...
And 280 calories is all.
That can't be right, can it?
Well, it's a leg. If you get the leg and the thigh, possibly.
Yeah.
280. I would think it'd be closer to 400 or 500, but
I would think 500.
You still haven't tried that yet, have you? No, I would highly recommend. I was very surprised at how good it was.
They can't lie.
Well, no, you're right. They
They
can't.
can.
Or they could be wrong, because I remember there was a certain ice cream that was saying a certain pint of ice cream was. I'm like, this can't be right, but I sure ate it, enjoyed it for a couple. Then I looked again, and it had almost tripled. They had it. I think it was marked wrong.
Well, the thing you have to be careful, too, is if it says 280 calories per serving.
There's 5 servings.
You have to check how many servings there are, too.
1 serving.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what this ice cream used to say. Now it says 4 servings. It used to say 1 serving, and it was marked wrong.
Well, then you buy potato chips, and they say, like 10 chips is this many.
Well, you got the small bag with 2.
Just going to eat 10 chips.
You got the small bag with 240, the medium 420, I think.
Yeah.
And then the family bag. I never.
Yeah.
The big grab, as they call it.
Well, when you get a side chips at Subway, I think that bag has like 240 calories.
It's like an ounce.
It's a decent amount of chips. I don't need much more.
Yeah.
Do you need more than that?
No, but it's got more than 10 chips.
Well,
in
I
it.
want.
Oh, yes. It's probably got 20 to 30.
I want more than that. Do I need more than that?
Listen, I sat down maybe a month or so, and I got the family size bag of Ruffles, and it got smaller.
Did you eat the whole thing?
Yeah.
Just from when one sit down?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of sickening.
Well, yeah.
Easy.
See, that is the one time. You know how I don't like white sauce, but I do like the French onion dip. with Ruffles potato chips.
Yes.
I can do that. And then I could see myself eating a ton, and then I wouldn't have French onion dip for maybe another 2.5 years. But for those 15 minutes, I love French onion dip with Ruffles potato chips.
Okay.
Ruffles are great with dip because they're thick.
Yeah.
The Lay's.
I don't like dips. So
I don't normally like dips either, but I like French onion. I think it's Anderson Erickson French onion dip.
Yeah, it's good.
It's really good with potato chips. That's the only thing I
Yum.
Well, what do
Love
you
potato chips.
with potato. Yeah.
Just eat it out of the car.
Well, I mean, some people may put crap
Here's
like
a
that on
spoon.
I mean, people put sour cream on their potatoes. I could see somebody putting French, and it's good with carrots and stuff.
Yeah.
Dipped in carrots and stuff like that. It's not bad.
Well, there you go.
But yeah, speaking of the Hawks, we've got Tim Lester scheduled to be on at 9:30 today, and then Abdul Hodge is going to be on at 9:30 on Friday. This is part of their assistant coaches. They kind of divide them up amongst 4 or 5 different media outlets throughout the state, and we get Lester, Abdul Hodge, and we'll have Jay Neiman on July 9th. So, and we've never had Tim on, and so like I was talking to Tom, I was looking at his bio, and he played 4 years at Western Michigan, 4-year starter, threw for 11,200 yards and like 89 touchdowns. I'm guessing in this day and age, he wouldn't have survived at Western Michigan.
I would think
Western
not.
Michigan would probably not have been able to keep him.
Somebody would have poached him.
So that's something I want to ask him. And I also want
And a great question.
We saw that clip of McCollum playing with basketball with Cooper DeJean. I want to ask how much he still throws the football, just in normal, and if he could still feel confident throwing a 25-yard, seam route or whatever. I wonder. He's a couple years older than McCollum. I think he was born in '77. McCollum was born in '81. God, I feel really old. I mean, '77, I still had hope. '81, it was pretty much over. I knew where I stood, and I just accepted it. How about you in '77? Well, you were already thinking of retirement, were you?
Yeah, I was trying to, yes.
He's not even thinking of retirement now.
Yes, I was thinking of retirement every day.
'81, you were tired, weren't you? In '81,
I was just
you were approaching your 40s.
Listen, I remember getting together with a bunch of jocks one night in the production room at KSDT, going, "What are we going to do when we're 30? We've got to get a job then." And
why didn't you get? None of you guys thought it would last.
Uh-uh.
Why'd you get into it then if you didn't think it would last?
I don't know.
Because at that age, you don't think that far ahead.
Yeah. And
you don't. Or at least I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. It's like when I got into newspapers, I thought, this. If I ever get bored, I guess I can do something. This will go on forever. Sure enough, by the time I hit late 40s, it was falling apart.
Yeah. You got a phone call, Cap?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
You want me to take it?
I do.
Okay. Hello.
Hey, guys, if you get time, ask Tim Lester. I don't know if I read it or somebody. They said that he was committed to Florida and Steve Spurrier, and then when he blew his knee out, Spurrier revoked his offer.
So committed to Florida coming out of high school or after playing?
Yes, after high school.
Okay.
And then the story is he went to Western Michigan, and then they played Florida like the first game of the year. So I don't know if I heard that, but ask him about Steve Spurrier or what.
Hit him with that right out of the gate. Should we hit him with that right out of the gate?
Well, what if he says, "I don't know where you heard that"? That is
nonsense.
nonsense.
One of our loyal...
that's true, but I don't know. But somebody, I don't know if I read that in an article about him or whatever, but I just wonder.
Okay, that's a fair. We will do our best.
If you get time,
Okay.
Guys.
Okay.
All right.
Good. Thanks for that.
That's interesting.
Yep. Thanks. Yep. Bye.
But yeah, he 4-year starter there, and so let's see, the Western Michigan, they beat Iowa in 2000 and 2007. So
2007 is the one I remember.
Yeah, it was 2000 the first year they beat him. I think that was the year. So that was the year after he left.
Oh, wow.
His last year at Western was 1999. So Iowa lost to them in 2000, and Western had a new starting.
Yeah.
Somebody who had a new starting quarterback for the first time in 4 years. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm going to get an update on Gronowski. It's not. Tim's doing other interviews, and I've seen where Gronowski's making good progress.
Sounds like
he appears to be on.
Of course, wouldn't we kind of expect to hear?
Well,
that?
yeah, they said that by June he was going to be cleared and start throwing the ball and what have you. So,
Ann says, I made a coffee cake. One piece was individually wrapped for Pat.
Yes, she did. She took care of us, and I carelessly dropped the
That's
ball.
like when my mom used to make like the big family cake. She'd always leave 2 rows without frosting because as a kid I didn't like frosting.
But Ann, I did make sure that Amy took her coffee cake with her and her chocolate. So I was 1 for 2.
You care about your kids more than us. As you
Clearly.
should.
Yeah,
As you should. Yeah.
Clearly.
But yeah, my mom used to always leave that one little section. Because for some reason as a kid, I just did not like much frosting.
I don't like frosting.
See,
I like
I'm
it
the
okay.
completely the opposite. Those brownies with no frosting, I'd rather just
God,
throw on the ground.
I
and
love those.
Use them as cobblestones.
And I don't mind brownies with some frosting too, but I would prefer the, what is it, convection?
Confectioners.
Yeah, I
Confection?
like that.
I like that, yeah. And the moist inside, yeah, that's
Too
what
much frosting is just.
it's like too much mayonnaise.
Well, you guys have you don't like the twice frosted brownies that Ann makes?
Oh, I
That's
like those.
My mom's recipe.
Yeah, I like those. I mean, they're rich, but I like them.
You dissing my mom now?
Now, when is this?
Oh, she's
brought
brought
them
them to
in.
us a dozen times.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah.
Oh, they're great.
Because I usually
I've
complain
eaten
about.
them.
I usually complain about not having enough.
No, I don't like when you get a cake and it's got a bunch of.
Like those birthday white frosting. Yeah, I don't like
I
that.
don't like that.
I never have liked birthday cake because of the frosting.
Wow.
You like birthday frosting cake?
As long as it's white. Or Ann makes one that's really
racist.
good, too.
Okay.
Racist.
No, I don't like chocolate cake.
Clearly,
Cake racist.
I do not like chocolate cake. I've told
Suter
you,
is
I
trying to
don't like
take us back to the
Why don't
50s.
you
chocolate
like-
very well. I don't like it very well. I don't know.
He's trying to take us back to the 50s.
It's not that I can't eat it. It just is. I don't like.
You don't
that.
like Hostess cupcakes?
No.
Not, I don't. God, I haven't had one of those in
The
ages.
dumbest thing
Well, that real hard frosting and the squiggle.
I like the squiggle.
No, that stuff's nasty.
You know, honest to God, what I thought it was the dumbest thing when we were in Coralville, the cupcake place that made it from scratch down the landing.
Yeah.
It came over and it had Hostess cupcakes. They made them themselves. Okay,
And they tasted just like Hostess.
just like it, and the woman was bragging about.
See, I don't
how
like
they
the white
taste
stuff
that.
in the middle.
Well, they were $5.95 a cupcake. You can get 2 Hostess cupcakes at that time.
You're talking
for
about the ones that got
99 cents.
the little white things on top,
Squiggles, yes.
and then they bite into it, and it's got that
Yeah.
white crap in the middle.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
no.
got-
What's the white crap in the middle?
It's just cream.
See, I'm anti-racist.
That's the whole
I-
point of eating a cupcake like that is having the
I have to counter his
frosting
cake
in the
racism
middle.
by saying I don't like the
It
white
is a
stuff in the middle.
frosting, though. It's a cream thing.
yeah cream.
It's
filling.
nasty.
Frosting is cream.
No, it's not.
You like the
It's
stuff
sugar,
inside the
cream.
Yes.
Do you? You like it too?
Yeah.
I don't like those cupcakes,
I just-
but I will say that the white stuff inside almost makes it worth eating.
You know, I don't know how we could work together for 31 years.
I just.
No, I like
It's more than that, isn't it? No, 31's right.
How about the Hostess Ho-Hos?
Seems like it's more than that, doesn't it?
How about the Hostess Ho-Hos? I think that's the same white cream stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just,
Oh, those are fun.
No, same problem.
Jesus.
Although Twinkies, I love.
my mom used to make this.
Frozen Twinkies.
My mom used to make this really good oatmeal cake. I know that sounds not. It was really good, but I called it snot cake because it looked like somebody just blown a bunch of boogers on the surface. It seriously did, but my God, was it good! Man, was it good! See, I haven't had one of those and stuff like that.
My
in
mom
years.
used to buy Mrs. Smith's pies, and then she
pretend that she made them.
basically she talked like she made the damn thing from
Well, she
scratch.
warmed it up in the oven. Does
I
Ann make
mean-
pies often?
No.
Pies are kind of hard. That's a production. isn't it?
Anne will make pumpkin chiffon pies
Ooh, I
for.
love that.
Yeah, it's a slightly light. It's lighter than a normal pumpkin pie.
Okay.
It's fluffier.
Not a big
and
pumpkin.
It's a little better. And I understand, and I agree.
Oddly
with
enough,
you.
I do
Well,
like
I
it with a
love
little whipped
pumpkin.
cream on it, and I'm not a whipped cream
a
fan.
lot of whipped cream.
Yeah, I'm just not a, but I can eat
I
it. man.
love pumpkin pie and pumpkin.
Remember Pumpkinhead with Lance Hendrickson? Remember? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
No.
I remember.
You see him and Ann watching Pumpkinhead?
No.
I couldn't. Either.
No. Well,
Look it up. Though.
Clearly not.
Look it up. Look it up and then make the decision together after you read what it's about.
My guess is it will pass.
Have you seen it?
About 10 minutes of it.
All right. Iowa football got a commitment from Julian Manson,
Manson, yeah.
Jason Manson's son, who I've never seen play. I've seen some clips of him, but Tom Lemming has evaluated him closely over the last year or so, really likes him. And this kid could be a tight end, wide receiver, D-back, but, man, now he's 6'4", 225. I think they list him as a linebacker. I think he's going to be a rush edge. I think he's going to be somebody that gets at the quarterback.
Is he that
very
fast
very athletic, runs sprints. He's very, very good athlete. I mean, he's the kind of kid. I mean, you see guys like him on Alabama's roster, but you know, his dad's here. They got a connection. I mean, and he's going to stay home.
Oh, good.
And they got Cason Thomas, a linebacker out of Sioux City, Heelan, and I remember Rob watched him as a high school freshman. And I remember him saying, man, this kid's really good. And now he's going into his senior year, 6'2", 220. And I asked Lemming, and Lemming's like, man, quick to the ball, plays on his feet.
You had an article on it.
Yeah, and Lemming says plays on his feet. So they've got two good in-state commitments that they needed to get in this 26 class. And they got the D-back from Michigan, so that's 3. Now they're still waiting on Dallas's brother. I haven't been pestering Dallas. He told me he'd let me know when something officially happens, and I think, in the next few days. And trying to see other. Rob also has a story. He talked to Will Schlegel. There's a tight end in Norwalk, if you're not familiar. His name's Luke Brewer. He's a 4. I mean, by the time he's done, he's going to be a 5-star. He's got Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama. All these schools have already offered him.
I know Notre Dame just got somebody that was high on our list too, but I can't remember the name. Do you recall?
I don't know. No, it wasn't. I don't think it was this kid from Norwalk.
I don't know.
No, I don't think it's the kid from Norwalk. But he's in the 27 class, and I've been hearing about him since he's like 6'4", 230. His name is Luke Brewer, and I was in on him, but so is everybody else nationally. I mean, this kid, and this Will Schlegel's he's a lineman from Grinnell, I believe. He's got a bunch of offers, so a lot of recruiting going on right now.
I found it kind of interesting that the linebacker they got, was it yesterday, was the first linebacker they got for the class.
No, Cason Thomas.
Cason? Yeah, him.
Well, yeah, him, and then they got Manson.
But he may or may not be a linebacker.
Well, they have him as a linebacker. That's what he's listed. That's what he's being. Well, I mean, they don't have a running back in the class. They don't have a quarterback in the class. As of 2 days ago, they didn't have a defensive back in the class. The class is starting to take shape now, and that's what this Junior Day event this past weekend was supposed to do. I mean, they brought these guys on campus, and they've gotten 3 of them to commit. They're waiting on Darian Jones, and like we can ask Tim, I mean, they lost a quarterback in this class who has since committed to Indiana, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And obviously Tim can't talk about him specifically. But I'm curious to see what he says. In the old days, you had to at least get one quarterback in every class before the portal. Now, do you really?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the questions.
Do you? The quarterback in their 26 class may be somebody who's going to be a freshman at Arizona State next year, but then he's at Iowa. You don't know. I mean,
exactly.
And it'll be interesting to see what he says to that. I mean, because don't get me wrong, high school recruiting is still important, but quarterbacks now. I mean, you look at Iowa's roster a year ago. I mean, they've got Gronowski, Hank Brown, Jeremy Hutlinski, Ryan Fitzgerald, and Jimmy Sullivan. That's 5 guys that weren't on along with them Jackson Stratton. 5 of their 6 quarterbacks on the roster now weren't on the roster a year ago.
No, and last year it was Cade McNamara, Brandon Sullivan,
and then Jackson Stratton.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marco Leonez, but he was hurt. Marco Leonez is now at Elon, I believe, isn't he? Isn't that where he went?
That sounds.
And then, of course,
Elon.
Cade McNamara is at East Tennessee State, and Brendan Sullivan is down with Johnny Pascuzzi at Tulane. So, yeah, it's a never-ending revolving door, but that's just the way it is. Iowa's no different than any other school.
Well, and then if you get your 26 quarterback, he comes in, doesn't get the start, doesn't
leaves
look like
in a year.
It leaves in a year.
Could be and could end up being somebody else's quarterback where just the opposite happens at another school. Somebody goes there, doesn't like it,
it's
comes
just
to Iowa. It's just
such a different.
You can't
landscape.
look past. I don't think you can look almost past each semester, each 6-month period almost with quarterbacks. It'll be interesting to see what Tim says to that.
Yeah.
And
some guy in the chat room says the Spurrier story is fact.
Is fact?
Uh-oh. Is that
F-A-C-T, fact?
Is my nephew still in the chat room ever?
No.
He's
What happened?
I'm not sure. I haven't spoken to him well.
Yeah.
Were they really mean to him?
No, he was mean to them.
Oh, but didn't he just minutes in? Didn't somebody call him an effing moron?
They called you.
Oh, they called me an effing moron. I thought you said they called my nephew.
They probably did.
Probably both of us?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, all right.
Might have called me one. I don't care.
You know, we can't say the word, but our commander-in-chief can say it. He drops the F-bomb and nothing happens. We say it and we get threatened. It was kind of funny hearing the president say the F word. What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, we ran it.
There you go.
We couldn't do anything. Who expected it? And
couldn't you have edited it out?
No, we're carrying him live.
Oh,
we're carrying him live.
We don't have a delay. So if Tim Lester starts,
we've got it.
Coming out with the expert, we could be in trouble.
Every other word's the F word. But yeah, I mean, God, to think we're almost done with June. Think about it, guys.
I know.
Yeah.
We've got football season.
Why would you put the president on a delay? I mean, you really don't expect.
No, you don't expect it, do you?
Football season.
And then CNN ran the quote all day. I mean, all day.
Yeah, they did.
And didn't edit it out.
Well, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I just amazed that we're barely 2 months away from the start of football season.
68 days was yesterday, so 67 today.
Yeah.
Have you guys come up with anything yet for the?
Yeah, Rob's. Yeah, we're trying to. He signed us back up on Spotify under a different name, completely different account with all my email information. And if AI catches us, then we give up. Then we're just
go somewhere else.
Then we'll go somewhere else. But no, there won't be any. We don't play music anymore, so there's no risk of that happening again. So it'll be. I don't know what he named it. He was gonna. We have to have it be something similar so people know where to go. I mean, the thing with Spotify it's so convenient and it's free. And it's what everybody has and can get to. That's the difference. So we'll see. I mean, we're trying to.
Well, if I could give a suggestion.
Well, we've already started this.
Once he does that, maybe he should put it on another one too.
Well, we're doing that. We're doing that. This could be Tim here.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Is this Tim?
This is Tim. Is this Pat?
Yeah, well, this is Pat, Tim. Hey, Pat Harty, and you got Tom Suter and Captain Steve. We appreciate you coming on. Tom, you want to?
Yeah, okay. We just had a caller a few minutes ago, Tim, that said now when you were a recruit coming out of high school that you were recruited by Steve Spurrier, you had an injury problem with your knee, and he pulled your offer, and then you ended up going to Western Michigan. Is this factual?
It is factual.
That is factual.
Wow.
Okay. Well, we've got our callers. That's interesting.
Our callers aren't always spot on, Tim. So.
So, did you end up playing against Florida when you were at Western?
My senior year. Yeah, we opened up in the swamp. It was a great day. It was a full circle moment for me because I got to go.
I'm sure it probably was. You know, I was looking at your bio, and I reminded it. You played 4 years at Western. You threw for over 11,000 yards. I'm just curious, would you have lasted at Western in this day and age of the portal?
No way.
So what are your thoughts? What's your thoughts on that? I'm just kind of curious. I mean, you've had to adapt like everybody else.
Yeah, it's hard. It's different. You know, like back in the day, like the differences between the different levels was the gaps were narrow. Mm-hmm. You know. Like losing a year of playing and moving to another school and having to sit out, that was something you had to think about.
Yeah.
And now the gaps are huge. You know, the amount of exposure you get, obviously financially, it's a huge difference. So it's just such a different time. You know, sometimes staying in the MAC, and we had a ton of guys drafted, you could still get to your final goal, you know, better through a MAC school when the gap was narrow between the Power 5 and the Group of 5. And it's just gotten further and further and further over time, and it is what it is, but it's definitely a different time between the as far as the gap between Group of 5 and Power 5.
Well, Tim, you're into your second year in an offensive rebuild at Iowa. Are you about where you expected to be at this point, or are you happy with the progress of your offense so far? Yeah,
so far so good. I mean, it's definitely a process coming in, especially coming in February, right? We played the divisional round, and we lost like the third week of January when I was with Green Bay to the 49ers, and so kind of got here post-winter portal, so there wasn't a bunch of immediate change that we were able to make, and so it was really just, hit the ground running. It was a total overhaul of systems, and, trying to figure out things we could be successful with in year one as we continued to try to teach the system to the players. And this spring was really the first time that it's really started looking like it should. And so I'm excited as these kids continue to work and grow. And we have to be better than we were last year. And I think hopefully it's just the tip of the iceberg as far as being able to execute all pieces of the offense. We got pretty good at obviously running the ball. People knew we were going to run the ball. We were still able to have some success in that avenue. We got more efficient throwing the ball, which was the goal. We got to find a way to be explosive through the air. But that just takes time, So our guys have been working hard. I'm excited to see them continue moving this thing.
Tim, I know you can't talk about, recruits specifically or what have you, but in this day and age, is it as important to get a high school quarterback in each class? Because to me, it doesn't seem like it would be with the portal. Whereas in the old days, it seemed like you had to get at least one or two. But now it seems like there's always a quick fix waiting if you need one.
Yeah, I don't think teams are going to be able to live through the portal. You've seen like the Florida States 2 years ago compared to last year. You've seen teams that have tried to go heavy in the portal, and it's hard to sustain. But it's great to have, right?
Sure.
Like when recruiting, it's so important, especially with quarterbacks. It's not so much about who you get or who you don't get. It's less about who you don't get. It's really about getting the right guy, right? Like the one, because you have one of them around your building for a long time. So the one you get has to be the right one. So you have to do everything in your power to make sure if you do take one, he's the right one, no matter what that takes. And then two, it's great to have the portal. Obviously, when I got here, the quarterback room was something that we needed to overhaul. And 1 year later, we're all six guys in my quarterback room were not here when I got here last February. And so, it is it's a great thing to have when you need it. I don't think you can live on it and count on it, but it's great. It's a great backup plan just in case you don't get the right guy or you need to make some changes in your room. It gives you some opportunity.
So obviously you think you got the right guy in your quarterback room now with Mark Gronowski. Do you think you have more than one right guy in your room right now?
Yeah, I'm excited about the room. Mark's been doing a really good job. Hank had a great spring. Hank came in from Auburn. He's a redshirt sophomore. He's got 3 years left. So Mark's got 1 year left. And then Hank's got 3 years left. We brought in Jeremy Heklinski from Wake Forest. He's got 4 years left. He's doing a really good job. So we got some options, which is great. Obviously, Mark's thrown for over 10,000 yards and won a national championship, has tons of experience, and it shows. And so it's just great to have experienced guys and guys that kind of fit the system that we're trying to run. And so it's that part. The room's it's a fun room to be around, and they got they're all learning and they're all new. I think Shaggy, is the one guy who's been here the longest. He got here last June, so he's 1 year old in Iowa City. So and he's the veteran of the room. So it's fun because we got a lot to learn, and they're eager.
So with how quickly things happen, do you have to be better at vetting players, like off-the-field stuff? Because you don't have a lot of time to get to know these guys when you're getting guys from the portal. How do you go about that process?
It's hard. Luckily, coaching is a small fraternity, right? So
sure, right.
You normally know someone that knows the guy, right? Either we recruited him in high school and didn't get him, so we know the family already, or, I know a coach or Coach Ferentz knows somebody on the staff, or I'll know the high school coach, or, so there's normally some type of connection because you have to do that background research. There's some guys getting on the portal that obviously if you don't have a connection with them and you're really just, guessing, that's the fastest way to have a terrible season. Because if you're wrong once or twice, it can, I know I mentioned Florida State, they won, 12 and then only won 2 games the next year. So, luckily we have done a good job of making sure we're calling the people that we know and getting to know. I mean, I know Mark. I recruited him out of high school. He's from Naperville, Illinois, which was right next to where I'm from. So I had a lot of connections with him, knew who he was. So as soon as he hopped on, it was we were pretty excited about the opportunity to recruit him.
The fact that he can run, and I've watched enough of him to know I've seen him run with power. I mean, obviously you don't want that to be his first option, but how much easier will that make your job? The fact that you have a quarterback, when the play maybe breaks down, can do something with his legs.
It's huge. I mean, you saw it in the playoffs this year. You know, in critical situations, being able to add a hat with a run game is huge. And it's not the most. It doesn't have to happen. There's tons of guys in the NFL that don't run extremely well that are very efficient running this offense. But it definitely helps on 3rd and 1, on 4th and 1. Things break down. A guy can go get a first down. You could just see the difference in our red zone offense last year when we put Sully in. Yeah. Which adds a whole new dynamic to stress the defense, and we went from, we were really struggling in the red zone, and, I think we threw him in game 3, and by the end of the year, I think we were top 10 in the country scoring in the red zone, just by adding a guy that we didn't use his feet a ton, but we could, and that changes the things that they can do, and really helped us, and it should help us, obviously, having Mark, and really Hank runs the ball pretty well, too, so we have some options of guys that can hurt you with their feet, too.
Your bio says you have a mathematics degree from Western Michigan. Does that help you in any way now?
I mean, I'm a big believer. I don't think anything is like statistically proven. I've just been around a lot of good quarterbacks, and they all seem to understand math. There's so much of what we do that's math-driven and angles-driven. You'd like a guy that it naturally speaks to them. Sure. I mean, we run a 6-man RPO, a 7-man RPO, like knowing who's blocking who, and you're in charge of the 7th defender, and is it the boundary safety, is it the boundary corner, is it the nickel? So them knowing, box counts and when they have to be aggressive throwing the ball to get us out of a bad run play. And so I just think it naturally lends to, quarterback play when you have a guy that can do math quick in his head and understands it.
No, that makes sense.
One of the big questions in a lot of people's minds is, of course, Caleb Johnson had such an incredible year last year with over 1,700 yards, and obviously he's going to be playing on Sundays coming up here. The cupboard's far from bare. I mean, Kamari Moulton's back, Jazz Patterson, Terrell Washington, Xavier Williams, Brevin Dahl. You're got a lot of bodies in the running back room. They've had some success. Are you reasonably confident, at least, that you can match numbers-wise what you guys did last year by committee?
Yeah, I really am. I think it's really a unique group because they all do different things. None of them can't do anything. Mm-hmm. Like, there's not a guy that can't catch or can't, but they all have kind of their things that they do pretty special. Having T.J. Washington in the backfield as a pass threat, I mean, he can really run routes. I had him play wideout last year on purpose. He was the 5th running back. He wasn't going to get any reps. He runs great routes, catches the ball. I want him to learn the whole offense so I could use him in the future out of the backfield. I think of a guy like Alvin Kamara over the Saints that nobody can cover out of the backfield. And so, that's something we haven't had before. Kamari does a little bit of everything. Jazz can do everything, but, man, he really runs hard on short yardage. Xavier's contact balance is unbelievable. Obviously, Brevin Dahl, I think, ran a 10.4 in the state track meet. He can really, really run. And he's working on his, in between the tackle stuff. So it's a fun group. I mean, competition is the greatest thing you can have on a football team.
Well, they also,
and we have a group of 5 or 6 guys. They all do something well. There's only one ball to go around. So, it'll be fun. Camp's going to be huge. In that room and in the wide receiver room, it's going to be huge because I really love the depth we have in both, and they're going to compete, and we're going to figure out who's going to get the first nod on the chance to make plays.
And I look at Patterson and Moulton. In this day and age, a lot of running backs in their position would have left, would have gone somewhere else, neither one of them from around here. But they both stayed. What does that say about them? And to me, that I would think that would kind of help with the culture inside the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, with Coach Parents, the culture here is special. It's unique. It's one of the reasons we get some of the recruits that we get. We get recruits that, parents, if they played college football, they love the feel of the culture of what we have going. And I always give Liddell Betts a ton of credit. He's done an unbelievable job in that room. It was really fun. I was excited for him to get a chance to go to the NFL. Interviewing running back coaches was so fun because, the first question you always get is, who do we have? And to be able to say you're loaded, trust me, you're not, the cupboard's not bare. You're going to come in and inherit a bunch of guys that can do a lot of things, and different styles of backs. We got the speed back, we got the shifty back, we got the big, bruising backs, and so having all the different things, it's very, very fortunate to have the depth that we have. One, to get through a season with injuries, and two, just to have the competition so the cream can really rise to the top. When we figure out at the end of camp who's going to get the majority of the carries early on, because as we all know, with injuries that can change.
Sure. Obviously it's Kirk's team, it's his offense and what have you, but just as a casual observer, it seems like he's given you a lot of flexibility and a lot of freedom to do is that fair to say? I mean, he's the head coach, I get it, but it seems like it's your offense and he's letting you run your offense. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, we're running the Shanahan system verbatim. It's really it's Matt LaFleur's and kind of the Sean McVay tree of this offense. And, I love having a former offensive line NFL coach in my room, along with George, our offensive line coach. They do a great job. Having two offensive line coaches is huge, and I always ask him his opinion on things. But yeah, we're pretty much running it the way it's supposed to be run, and obviously we get to fourth down, and I ask if we're going for it or not, and he's very involved in that decision because that's his main job. But other than that, he's supportive. He's loving learning, because I think he wanted this system. When he called me, I didn't have a previous relationship with really anybody on staff here, but I think he did his research, and he really thought that this offense would fit really well in this system, and I think that's why we're running it, and he's enjoying learning it. And we went up to Green Bay last spring, and he got to go watch practice and hang out with Matt and kind of get a feel for what it looks like in Green Bay when we run it. And so it's been fun. I
got to ask you, Iowa basketball, they posted on Twitter some footage of Coach McCollum scrimmaging against Cooper DeJean. They were, and Coach Mack, he's a couple years younger than you. You can tell he still can play. He was getting to just curious, can you still throw the football pretty well? Do you ever do that anymore, or are you so just involved in I'm just curious, how do you throw the football these days?
I'm trying. I swear. I've been hit so many times that I had back surgery this off season. Okay. So I don't have quite the torque I used to, but I still love getting involved in the competitions. And I talk more trash than any of them when we do the net drills, because we try to end pretty much all of our drills with some type of net throw, which either goes in or doesn't.
Okay.
And so I get involved a little bit. I can't throw it like I used to, but it is a lot. I watched him pick Cooper's pocket one time.
Yes, he did.
I was super impressed.
Yeah, I was impressed.
I was super impressed by that. I was like, man, I wish I could do that.
Yeah, I was surprised at how quick he still is. Yeah. So
yeah, he took it to the hole once. It was like, wow, this guy's moving.
I think didn't you miss playing against Iowa by one? Your last year was 99, right?
99. I was there. I came to the game. I was on the sideline, because I was my senior year. My backup quarterback was really good, and so I knew we were going to be good. And most of my receivers returned, so it was pretty much the team I played my senior year with. The whole defense was back, and we had a pretty good season, and it was fun. Yeah, I came to that game, and obviously it was a good game for the Broncos. Not so much for the Hawkeyes that day, but that was my first time in Kinnick.
Tom, were you there that day?
I was there, and I was there in 2007. I was fortunate enough to be asked to sit up in the press box with somebody and watched the Broncos absolutely dismantle Iowa in a game that we had to win to go to a bowl game, and the Broncos stomped us.
Tim, your alma mater is not real popular at this radio station.
Well, we've had some really good defenses, and offensively, I was lucky when I played. We were ahead of the curve. We were running a spread offense before people really ran spread offenses in the late 90s. So defenses were still really simple. Now, defenses have evolved as well as offenses, but I was pretty fortunate when I was playing because we were running stuff. Us and Purdue, Drew down there, Drew Brees of Purdue, they were doing the same thing, and defenses were – I was shocked that we didn't have a fullback, and that we'd run empty, and it was a time where that was totally unheard of, and so it was a great, and you learned football, which was great because people were trying to catch up, and so you saw different defenses every week and learned a ton about the game, and that's kind of where I figured I wanted to coach.
I'm just curious. You had to think when you were having that success, yeah, I could play at the highest level. I could be a Big Ten coach. Did that enter your mind much? And I applaud you for staying loyal to your alma mater because you had to think you were good enough to play at the higher level, didn't you?
Yeah, obviously I had it. I don't want to say I had everybody in the country because I didn't have Iowa, I didn't have Wisconsin. Those are really the two Big Tens I wanted, but I had most of the others. I wanted to play for Spurrier bad, and back then you didn't commit to you. I wish I would have committed early.
Mm-hmm.
You committed on your official visit. So I had the plane tickets and everything. I was going the first weekend in December, was going to commit when I was there, and then was it the second week in November or third week? It was in the playoffs. I blew my knee out my senior year, and that's when the recruiting world got turned upside down. But they had a quarterback, Danny Werfel, down there at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of threw it kind of short release, kind of like me, and I kind of fit that mold. And it was awesome because I got a chance to go down there my senior year, and I think we threw for like 400 down there. It was a great, that was kind of like I said, it was a full circle moment of I definitely could have played here. I think we set the stadium record for passing on that day. Now I think it's been broke since then, but it was a great day. We didn't win. I mean, it was 31-26 late in the third. They ended up pulling away. But it was a great game for us to go down there against a really good Florida team and compete.
That would have been Kirk's first season at Iowa,
It
1999.
It sure was.
Wow, that's a fascinating story. I was not aware of that. I'd like to thank our loyal caller for.
Yes.
Yeah. A couple more questions, because I know you're busy. What is the focus right now? How often do you get to meet with your quarterbacks, be around them? And obviously, recruiting is never ending, but it seems like this is a really big time for recruiting right now.
Yeah, it's been a huge month of recruiting,
Yes.
and then it just went dead. So there's no one coming. They can't come to campus, and we can't go off campus right now. So this is kind of the calm before the storm. Everyone's kind of with their high school teams getting ready for training camp. So for us, it's huge. We go once a week. We actually went this morning. We had meetings this morning and went out in the field and were able to do some skills and drills and just do individual with the guys.
Okay.
And so we go once a week, and then we'll go a couple times in July. And they're not full OTAs. I think with the way college football is going, that could be a thing that becomes a reality in the next couple of years with the talking of the portals and maybe only having one portal. You might get some true NFL OTAs in the summer where you can put helmets and shoulder pads on and actually do some things.
Okay.
Right now it's just getting out there, throwing routes on air, being around them, and being able to coach them, And it's been huge for us, obviously, with Mark. Mark had a little minor surgery, so he didn't get to do much spring ball. So he's out there healthy now and able to, break a huddle. I know we got to go on air, but we can break a huddle and run plays and just kind of get our timing down. They can hear the cadences and just stay sharp, because once we hit the fall, it goes pretty fast. So it's been summer's fun that we at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, get together and do some football.
So when did this current dead period start?
Sunday.
Start Sunday. Okay, that's what I thought, because I know this past
Sunday.
weekend was a big weekend and what
one.
have you. Well, Tim, listen, we really appreciate you coming on here and sharing some of your thoughts. I know the fans were excited to hear from you. I mean, we're, 67 days from?
67 days away from Hawkeye football as of today.
There you go. People are counting the seconds. And, Tom, you got one last question for Tim, and appreciate you coming on, Tim, and we look forward to covering you this fall.
Okay, Tim.
Thanks for having me on, guys. What's the last question?
The last question. Okay, this one's a little bit of a curveball, so I hope you stand in there and swing away. Okay, you look down at your cell phone, and Beth Getz pops up on the screen, and you say, I wonder what Beth wants. So you pick up the phone, and Beth says to you, Coach Lester, I need your help. We need to get some money in here fast this summer. I need you to hire a band, an act, or a singer to fill up Kinnick Stadium. Who is Tim Lester going to hire to fill up Kinnick Stadium?
I think I would probably go, and this is really from last 2 summers. I would probably pick Morgan Wallen. I'm on a Morgan Wallen kick right now. When I was in Green Bay, we went down to Milwaukee. The Brewers Park, I forget what it's called.
Miller Park?
And we went and watched Morgan Wallen and loved the concert. And then I actually took my kids to their first concert. We went and watched Morgan Wallen last summer at Wrigley.
Okay.
And it was a great concert, a lot of fun, a lot of great people. I mean, both packed, sold out, crazy shows, great openers. And so I would probably pick him right now. You could always go with like a classic, like if you could get, Billy Joel or something like that in there, that would always be a good one.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I would probably go Morgan Wallen, Summer,
Well, he
bring a
might
good
be our
country show in here, and we'll pack the place and have some fun.
I think
he might be our number one answer.
I think
That
Morgan
might-
Wallen has been the number one answer because we do ask this question of all the
Coaches and athletes.
players, coaches, administrators, blah 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 blah. I think Beth Getz had the best answer, and she's the only one until there was one of the players, but she said Taylor Swift, which is almost a guarantee.
Oh, that would sell it out in 20 seconds.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. But Morgan Wallen is
I think
is the other one.
that place will sell out for a lot of people, but Taylor Swift might be the best thing.
I think you're right.
Well, I know it's going to be selling out this fall. I'm looking forward. This is going to be a fun season. It's going to be a challenging season. It's a tough schedule. So, well, Tim, listen, we appreciate you coming on. We really do. And good luck the rest of the summer. And we'll look forward to covering you this fall.
Go Hawks.
I appreciate it, guys. Go Hawks.
Yep.
See you.
Thanks.
Yep.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
Really nice, down-to-earth guy.
Oh, yeah.
Really easy to talk to.
No, yeah, it comes off just.
And I loved his
Genuine.
answer about mathematics. I thought that was interesting. And our caller from the Northwest was
Spot on.
Because we would have I wouldn't have asked that.
No.
And that was, I had no idea that was part of it. That was really interesting. Our callers matter, Captain.
Well, I would hope.
But they could also
They don't always.
they could
they
also
can-
take this down after the break.
There's
Easy.
a good chance. I mean,
Odds are.
well, yeah. National Weather Service says there's a 70% chance they'll take us down.
Well, there was I heard rain last night.
yes, there
We've
was.
had a decent amount of
We're
rain.
getting
Judging
some more.
Yeah, no,
around
I mean,
noon.
and we've had a decent amount of rain the last 24 hours.
We have.
I haven't had to water it.
It was pouring this morning at
Good, we need it.
6:30.
We need it. And it
Yeah.
looks like there's more coming. Is there more coming?
Yeah.
No.
I've got okay. I've been and I'm going to bring this up because now they're talking about it online. The Hawkeye Radio Network is going to. iHeart is dropping coverage on some of their stations, and WOC, which is a major station in the Quad Cities, they dropped Hawkeye Sports and gave it to basically a rim shot station, meaning some people can get it in the Quad Cities. Some people, some people can't. Yeah. They went to the station at 107.
So what are you telling them?
Something. I'm telling you that they're going to be dropping wrestling and just putting it on an app is what I've heard. You'll have to go to the iHeart app, and they're going to drop some other sports coverage, baseball, and go to an app. We have, I have left messages throughout Learfield asking that we carry the wrestling and the baseball if they're going to take. They're taking it off of Kicks, I see.
Have they responded?
No, not at all.
There's going to be thousands and thousands of people who aren't going to stream on an app. They don't want to.
No, they're going to lose people like Karn.
They want to turn
that
on
are
their
diehard.
radios
They-
and
yeah.
listen to their sport.
So like with wrestling, then the Stephen Grace Ironside combination, that they're just going to be heard on an app?
Yeah, on
If
the
no radio
iHeart
station
app.
picks them up?
Yeah, on the iHeart app. And in the Quad Cities, they're depending on WMT to carry the Quad Cities. Well, to take it off of WOC, I think they're degrading.
So you're not even getting a response from anybody?
No.
Have you reached out to anyone from Iowa Athletics to see if they can facilitate?
I've reached out to one. I haven't got a call back yet.
But we're interested.
Yeah, we would love to carry it.
You have Ray and Stabby do like wrestling.
No,
Great.
no, it'd be
That would be incredible.
we would
you love
care.
that?
No.
no.
You wouldn't like that?
No,
Like Ray and Molly doing wrestling. I would listen to that from start to
no.
finish.
We'll carry their feet.
I know, I'm kidding. But still, I like the idea of Ray and Tommy doing wrestling.
Stabby struck out.
Yeah, Stabby was so over. Ray blew him up like he was Willie Mays, and he turned out to be, some guy who doesn't make it to Double A. He was disappointing in his moment.
Extreme, actually, but not surprising.
Timid.
Well,
hopefully
not surprising.
So hopefully that can lead to something, because something's better than nothing. I mean, why? If you guys have a lot of listeners.
Oh, and our signal is 10 times what KXIC had.
I mean, I don't get why they wouldn't at least.
I don't know, but I can't. If somebody, and I know people in the athletic department listen, so that's why I'm bringing it up now. And I only am bringing it up because to transfer, well, I mean, why would you? This station's out of Erie, Illinois. And, yeah, you can get it in the Quad Cities. They play everything from Johnny.
Can you get it here?
No.
And see, you go to the squad. You go to Galesburg.
Yeah.
And almost to Des Moines.
But the station plays everything from Johnny Cash to Anthrax.
Well, you're not going to get my sympathy on that.
Well,
Johnny Cash to Anthrax.
Now
that's...
I'm serious. I mean, it sounds
so
like
are you closer to playing Johnny Cash or Anthrax if you had to do one?
Neither.
Tommy Lang, probably Anthrax would be closer to Anthrax.
Right. No, I don't think. We're not. But anyway, yeah, it's got a very small listenership.
Well, keep us posted. Keep us.
I think Mace would be Anthraxian, wouldn't he?
Probably.
Yeah.
But it does. It has a very small listenership. To take it from WOC to drop it, iHeart to drop it, and to put their stuff on iHeart.
Doesn't make sense.
It's a bad idea.
It is. It degrades. It degrades the coverage and the image of Hawkeye sports.
I think it does.
So have you reached out to anybody with your Iowa connections?
I will be checking in with one of my neighbors, see what he thinks.
But I've been dropping, at least 4 contacts to the main guy.
And he's just not responding?
He's not responding.
Well, that seems unprofessional.
And then I went to somebody else, and they're not responding. So I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't want a 10,000.
Well, no, plus we got a pretty decent. We've had Iowa guests on every Wednesday throughout. I mean, and they've been highly popular shows. Yeah. I've had a ton of feedback, and Iowa has enjoyed them. It's good exposure for. I mean, Tim Lester didn't need us for exposure, but
of course
he's kind enough to do it.
Yeah.
But some of these non-revenue athletes, like Molly Shannon, hardly anybody knew who she was. Now I hear about her all the time.
Great.
Yeah, and hopefully hopefully you get a chance to at least explain yourself. Because, you could get – so would the baseball be the current people? I think it's John Leo and somebody else who do – would that be who the –
Whatever they
that's up to – that's up to Learfield.
So, you wouldn't be providing – other than maybe you couldn't Ray play like a Gene, the dancing machine role?
No.
Like 7th inning of every baseball game, Ray comes –
Ray does the high school sports.
No, he's got to evolve. We've got to figure out a way for Ray to evolve.
He's devolved.
Let's take a break.
Hi, well, we got to let me take this.
Better take our call,
and then we will. Hello.
Hello. I was gonna. Didn't you used to carry Iowa wrestling
and
also Iowa softball?
Padaski used to go to the Midlands with that Eric Beck guy.
And I did the Midlands when I first started here, and I did a lot of them. Yeah.
But that was
Bob Dane, didn't he? Wasn't he on your?
He sure was.
And I enjoyed that. So how come you dropped it?
Because we could not sell it. Well, we couldn't sell the wrestling.
What makes you think
weren't taking for that from Learfield. We were taking that from the NCAA, and anybody could
Learfield
cover
just
that.
told you couldn't do any.
Oh, so you were You were still competing against Iowa.
Yeah. No, Learfield had nothing to do with the NCAAs or anything. They couldn't stop us. We couldn't sell it because everybody would listen to Ironside and Grace.
Sure.
And
fair enough.
Rightfully so.
But could either one of them walk and read a book at the same time? You think?
Probably not.
Yeah, but I used to listen to both of you. I'd listen to them and listen to you.
Well, nobody would buy it because they were sponsoring. I can't do
what
this.
happened to the softball?
That Learfield took that.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tell you,
I haven't heard much of theirs.
Right. When we did softball, we were able to sell it, and we were able to sell it out.
Yeah, and we carried the games.
Yes.
But that's one of those sports they're still going to keep covering.
Wasn't it Anthony that was doing it?
Yes.
And then he'd get prizes, and I remember I'd run over and he'd throw me a T-shirt.
Yeah. So you're saying softball, baseball, and wrestling are now all on the verge of just going to just app-only listening?
App-only, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iowa needs to hear your plea.
Too bad, because your station was easy to get.
Yep. Yeah. And now it's 10 times easier to get.
Yeah. What about my idea about getting Ray involved in those calls, Karen? What do you think? Ray sings like the 7th inning stretch, the national anthem, stuff like that.
Well, Ray's good. He's good.
He is.
I'm trying to help him evolve. Captain wants him to.
Ray is.
I like Ray.
Ray is very good, but
I've known Ray since he was 8 years old.
Ray is very good, but I am dead serious about this, and we want that.
I mean, they should at least give you a call and let you explain how you think you can benefit from both sides on this.
Yeah,
because I think both sides could actually.
Well, they could put it on the app. It's already on the iHeart app.
I mean,
as it is. But if iHeart is going to drop this stuff and not have it over the air, it really doesn't
make any sense when there's a station with a lot of listeners willing to carry it.
Yeah,
and you have a 10,000 watt station, right?
Well, that's what I think. My goodness, let's have it easy for the people around here who want to listen to it.
Well, Karen, help them push it. I mean, word of mouth, man. That's where it starts.
Get in there and yell about it.
Yep, yell.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
All right.
Thanks, Karen.
You guys have a good day.
Well, like I said, it's not like I have any influence, but when I'm around, I'm like, hey, they're serious. They would really like.
Yeah, we would.
And I'll tell them I was joking about Ray. That was just a little sideshow.
Poor Ray.
Okay, before we take our break,
Ray is a sideshow to you.
Before we take our break, the Indiana Fever are waiving Dewana Bonner. League sources told the Indy Star, and they will be re-signing R.A. McDonald.
Well, they just got a little shorter.
Yeah, they did.
But she was good when she played for me.
Sure was.
I don't know what is the story behind Bonner. There's got to be conspiracy theories.
She doesn't want to play in Indiana. Why, I don't know. But I think she was pissed because she got relegated to the bench.
Well, she wasn't playing very well.
No, she wasn't. Well, no, I agree with you.
Yeah, I watched the game Seattle, I didn't even think Indiana played that well and still won. Yeah. And what did Caitlin end up from 3?
1 for 10, I think.
So she's now like 2 of her last 27 from 3.
1 of her last 23.
She was 1 of 17 going into last night's game.
Okay.
She had missed 16 of her last 17.
All right, then maybe she was only 1 for 6 or 7 last night. So.
Yeah, I've never seen her struggle like this. She had one. She shot from the left wing, and it hit everything. Well, it hit the backboard on the other side. Yeah. And she wasn't really pressured on that one. So she's really pressing right now.
She has. I don't know if she's hurt or if mentally she's.
She's not limping. She doesn't act like she's hurt,
but she's not playing like Caitlin.
She's not, and she's timid with her. With her shot. I just never thought. But she is human again, guys. Yeah. She is human.
She is.
But
her mind's working with her.
Yeah, but she's not as fast as I don't know.
Well, she's playing against much faster and taller defenders than she did at Iowa. Yeah. I mean, that's just it. Most of the girls that she played against during college aren't in the WNBA.
Oh, for sure.
And you're seeing that take its effect. But I still think she'll have an answer. And they're 7-7 now?
Yes.
So yeah, they just got.
She will have an answer if she is healthy, for sure.
Yeah, I
believe in Caitlin.
I do too, but I'm not using injuries as an excuse as much as you seem to be. I don't think she's not playing like somebody who's injured. She's just missing shots. She's not limping. I mean, her eye, that thing happened over a week. She's just missing shots. I mean, if she was injured enough to where it was affecting her this bad, they wouldn't be playing her. I just think that's kind of we're trying to figure out an explanation for why the superstar that we love so much isn't doing what we always expect her to do. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes it does. I mean, that 3-point shot she missed last night, that had nothing to do with her quad. Well, she was wide open. She just missed it.
She seems timid.
Well, it's because her shot's not going in.
Yeah.
And she, like you said, she passed up that 3 at the key the other day. Mm-hmm. I mean, just easily she could make that shot. Instead, she forced it in, and it turned into be a turnover. She tried to get into Aaliyah, who was surrounded by 3 defenders.
I just never imagined I would see Erica Wheeler outplay Caitlin for almost the whole game. And she did.
Yeah, and well, one thing, and I will say, Erica Wheeler is quicker than Caitlin.
Yes, she is.
And I think that...
She's quicker than about everybody.
I wonder, though, if some of this is teams are figuring Caitlin out a little bit physically, you know how it's kind of chess, a game of chess. Now Caitlin has to counter what's going on with her defensively, and I think she will, but it's going to take some time. It's going to take some help, and she's got to get her mind right again. Like she said, she's missing wide open threes, whether she's injured. She should make those shots, and everyone wonders. I mean, what she's done better at recently is driving and getting layups to the basket as opposed to shooting threes. She's just in a major funk from three-point range right now, and she's got to figure out. That's been something I don't think she's ever thought would kind of abandon her, but it has, and now she's got to figure it out. She just has to, and she's still got time, and as long as they're winning and staying in the play, just get in the playoffs. Yep. They just need to get in the playoffs. So
Clark Smokey in the chat room, 107.7 in the Quad Cities isn't bad. They even take requests.
Yeah. You take requests? Well, no, I don't. Molly does.
Molly does.
She takes some of mine.
I take umbrage to request.
The last request I made with Molly was "Message in a Bottle" by.
And she gave you a double dip.
Yeah, and she gave me that, and then right afterwards she threw Taylor Swift at us with her version.
All I know is that they play Ring of Fire. The last time I was in the Quad Cities,
I do too.
They played it into like Anthrax, and I'm going, what the heck?
I like Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I guess. You think it's going to go...
can we talk about this, or will Spotify...
Yeah. Yes, we can.
Oh, yeah, we're not playing it.
Okay, what if I start singing it?
That could...
Spotify may just suspend me just for...
Just in general?
Disturbing the peace.
Yeah. No, but I mean, to go from WOC, though, to...
Okay, I'm going to ask you guys. So would Morgan Wallen fill up Kinnick?
I think so.
I'm beginning to think he probably would. I've never heard his music.
I think
he's pop country, right?
You want my opinion of Morgan Wallen?
Well, not your political one. Let's just. But his music though is kind of soft country, right?
He's as popular as anybody else in the country field right now.
Yeah, he is.
Maybe.
Am I right though? Is it more like pop country?
It's just...
Yeah, because I could just say that they put his songs on our hit disc that we get every month, and we're a top 40 station. So they send us his music.
Do you ever play it?
No,
we're not going to play it.
How about Marty Robbins' El Paso? That's my request to Molly when she comes in.
No, we're not going to play
Jim Hunter can play that on Sundays.
Marty Robbins, Hunter, El Paso. Great song. Great song.
And I'm not going to sing it, although I could.
No, because Spotify's lurking. I saw them out in the bushes. They're out in the corner.
We won't play Morgan Wallen because it is a political thing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you've had some issues with some things he has said. And didn't he jump out of a window?
Drunkenness. Yeah, he was drunk.
Oh, he threw a chair.
But I don't care about the drunkenness. But when an artist flows around the N-word, I'm not playing it.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, that's your call. You own the station.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm amazed at how popular he is.
He is.
Men and women, young and old.
Oh, he's numero uno on the country charts right now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Him, Luke Combs.
He's ahead of Luke.
Yeah.
I mean, Luke really benefited from the thing with Tracy Chapman, and
but he's pretty.
Oh yeah, I know he was popular, but that certainly helped.
Yes,
I'd never heard of him until that.
Henson Cargill, you ever heard of that?
Who?
Skip a rope, Henson Cargill.
No, I have not. I have not.
It's a good song.
And
but no, that was
that.
Fun. That was fun talking. No, like I said, that's the first time I've ever had Tim away from a press conference setting. He's an easy guy to talk to. He seems like he'd be a fun guy to hang out with, just very laid back.
Yep.
And he seemed like, he's got a ton of other things on his mind, but he seemed like he kind of enjoyed it.
I think he
did.
You
can tell when somebody's not enjoying it.
No, it was real good.
Yeah, no, it was easier than I thought it would be. And we'll have Abdul Hajj on Friday around 9:30, and then we'll have Jay Neiman in July. So, let's take a break and then come back. And
with nonsense.
You want to watch something dissolve.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember,
don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
For a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Harty and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site, so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Harty and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Harty and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HartyandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
You take great care to maintain your home or business inside and out. But maybe, just maybe, there's something missing. Something that makes your home stand out among the others in your neighborhood. Something that makes your business pop and increases traffic. Something that you can change and customize at your command. Well, there's a solution, and that's Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illuminlights provides illumination for every occasion. Holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course lighting for all your favorite sports. The Illuminlights app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illuminlight's LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. For more information about Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting, go to BigDogTEK.net or give them a call at 319-395-0800. That's 319-395-0800.
We've said it for years. We want to give you our best price or most competitive price up front, and now Ford's brought that to the table.
Just makes you feel good.
Patrick Eads and Terry Adams with Deary Ford.
It's a true Ford employee pricing plan.
As if you work for Ford or you're a retiree from Ford.
You could walk in and buy a new Ford for less money than I could purchase one for.
I have never seen Ford do a sale like this.
The From America, for America event.
Sale extended through July 6th. Deary Ford, Iowa City.
When we say here for you, we mean it.
It's a great deal.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and anxiety that you may have with Medicare or insurance in general. Give me, Tiffany Rao, a call at 319-631-4795.
GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit suples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246. When you go to a family restaurant, you want 3 things. 1, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. 2, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And 3, you want to be treated like family. You get all 3 at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. Daily specials at each location, and no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurants at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at midtownfamily.com. The family's waiting for you.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy 20,000 square foot indoor facility holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier for years. But it's time for something new. It's still where you need to go for deer divots and door dings, as well as damaged dashboards. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Why not say, when your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier? I think Dad's going to love that. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Be a deer and call Premier Auto Body in North Liberty.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
Dear U of I, just a note to let you know, if you're ever thinking about selling Kinnick Stadium or Carver Hawkeye Arena, please consider Hawkeye Title and Settlement. We're here to provide efficient, high-quality real estate title and closing services. Signed, Hawkeye Fan Forever, and send. Hi, this is Steve Anderson with Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Whether it's a large commercial property or if you're buying your first home, remember, we're here to help. Hawkeye Title and Settlement Services of Iowa City. You'll love our team just like you love the Hawks.
Are you tired of living in a home that doesn't quite meet your needs? Then it's time to call the experts at Streets Maintenance. Their team of skilled professionals specializes in renovations and remodeling, transforming your home into the space you've always dreamed of. From kitchen and bath remodels to complete home renovations, no job is too big or too small. Streets Maintenance will work with you every step of the way to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So don't wait any longer. Call Streets Maintenance to schedule your consultation at 400-4483. Let's start building your dream home today.
At the Oxyoke Inn, we're ready to serve you with the same fresh food, prepared to order and served with a passion that you've come to expect for over 85 years. The Oxyoke Inn is serving our famous Sunday brunch buffet with lunch, dinner, family-style banquets, and carry-out daily. Make reservations at oxyokeinn.com or call for big or small tables and private rooms. We can't wait to serve you soon at the Oxyoke Inn.
The Oxyoke Inn.
In the heart of Amana.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios, in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
A meteorologist, Brittany Merlot. The heat index today will be feeling like 95 to 100 degrees across the area. And with chances of showers and thunderstorms, a brief funnel cloud is possible this afternoon. With waves of showers and storms expected again late tonight, we could see some heavy rainfall rates with those. And the heat hangs on tomorrow, too, with highs in the low 90s. That's the forecast on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. It's 80 degrees at our studios.
KCJJ weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
We're back.
It's academia.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Guys.
Are we back?
We're back.
So, hey, question. If I may kickstart this segment here, is it just me, Pat, or does it seem like this summer they're making players and coaches more accessible than they have?
Well, they have 9 press conferences this summer, 4 for women's basketball's first one's tomorrow. Football's going on right now. I actually couldn't go to football because of this show, Rob House covering it for Hawk Fanatic. But, yeah, I think there's a little bit more. What's crazy to think, though, is after tomorrow we will almost be halfway through this week's been. I mean, there's 3 straight days of accessibility. Yeah, things are different. Iowa's making their athletes way more accessible, and the assistant coaches didn't used to do these interviews.
not as much.
This is Iowa being Kirk and Iowa being more proactive as far as PR. You got to play the game. I do too.
The reason it came up, I was talking to Hunter about, we don't have a lot of audio in the summer because we don't have Hawkeye games. But I mean, there's a list of media availabilities in that newsroom that's just. There's like 4 football, like 3
Well, yeah, there's
football
9 of them
ones,
all together.
4
I got them written down on a sheet of, but yeah, we had basketball last Thursday. We had basketball yesterday. Football right now. Women's basketball tomorrow. So yeah, that's.
You want to just take over?
Well, you sit there for now.
Okay, I'll take over.
Take over, Rover.
He's got to take this call.
Tommy Lang, everybody, sitting in for Captain.
Filling in for a legend.
Oh, wow, that's loud.
Lieutenant Tommy Lang.
Yeah. I'm not a captain.
No, not at all.
Sadly. So, no, yeah, I just noticed that because they've been emailing these availabilities.
9 of them.
I don't remember them doing that before.
And
that many, at least.
It's nice extra money for me, too, because I get quotes for Radio Iowa, Todd Kim, and he thought he was going to be able to make it to most of them, but now Iowa State's doing stuff, so he can't be in Ames and Iowa City at the same time. So actually, Rob Howe's getting quotes for Radio Iowa today because Radio Iowa says that when they put clips of like Iowa football players on in their small towns, people love that stuff.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah, they love that stuff. And like I said, I know the people that listen here love the Iowa stuff we do on Wednesdays and what have you. So, no, I appreciate Iowa setting those things up. And I really enjoyed that talk with Tim Lester.
Oh, wasn't he great?
That was a good – I listened to that.
He was just a really easy guy to interview. And when he called in at first, I didn't think it was him. I mean, he just so unassuming. There doesn't seem to be like an arrogant bone in his body. But you could tell, though, he sounds like Steve Spurrier just bailed on him when he got hurt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kudos to our caller for knowing that. Oh, God, I got to go.
The old ball
Hey, guys,
coach.
it's been really fun co-hosting this
You're
show.
like
really nicely done, Tommy.
You're like what's his name, David Brenner with Carson.
Yeah.
Is that or Joan Rivers? Who else used to fill in?
Nicely done, Tommy.
Who else used to fill in for Carson when he was?
Okay, that was Spit Bubble's lawyer, and he
demands a retraction.
Very yeah.
Demands a retraction.
Stabby.
They used to be part of Ray's posse. That's what we called him, Ray's posse.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, Gilmore's Goons too. That was.
Yeah.
I thought Ray's posse was maybe a little nicer.
No, I was trying to get some kind of a lift to get Jan's scooter in the trunk of the car, and these people said they don't have anything like that.
Don't have anything like that?
No.
Yeah, it's amazing when you think about how many things you take for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, and we shouldn't take things for granted, but we do.
We do. So, yeah, the dead period ended Sunday, but, of course, obviously players can still commit and what have you. Julian Manson committed last night. And I still think they'll probably get a quarterback in the 26 class, but I don't think they have to. I don't think they necessarily have to.
5 guys plus that don't have a walk-on quarterback.
And
as well?
of the 6 guys Iowa has right now, I'm guessing. Well, Gronowski, of course, will be gone, but I'm guessing maybe more than just him will be gone a year from now. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Whoever looks like they're – so do you think Hank Brown and Jeremy Hecklinski both finished their careers at Iowa?
Probably not.
Just because both of those guys –
maybe both next year.
Oh, yeah. I think they'll definitely both be next year, and I think – who wins out on that competition. That's just the way it is, though. You got to constantly have quarterbacks competing, and you're going to constantly have quarterbacks coming and going. That's just the and Tim even said when I asked him, he wouldn't have stayed at Western. He would have been in the portal, and more power to him. He would have been a huge get for somebody in the portal. Could you imagine if Iowa would have gotten Lester going into his senior year at Western with all that experience? But did he say that Iowa was one of the few schools that showed no interest in him?
Of course, at that point, Iowa didn't have much of a team.
No,
either.
Well, 96 they
96
did.
they
97, did. No, Lester's last 2 years at Western were 98 and 99.
But to pluck him out of the portal would have been 98 or 99.
I'm not sure. He probably would have done better than Iowa at that time, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, he and I remember that game the game in 2000. That was a pretty good Western team. And I remember they had a running back named West. His last name was West, if I remember correctly. And that was not a fluke. Western was better than Iowa. They were just better.
That year they were.
I think they ended up winning 7 or 8 games. Now, the game in 07, that Iowa team was so disheartening. I mean, just
weren't those the Fat Cats?
No, the Fat Cats were 2006. That was 2006. That was Drew Tate's senior year, and remember that team ended up going 6-7. Really ended this. Remember that Tate got benched at Minnesota, and then Christensen I think came in and didn't he throw an interception? And then they put Tate back in.
A few cricket pitches that bounced in front of the.
Well, yeah, that season ended really, really bad, but then they sort of redeemed themselves by playing well against Texas in the Alamo Bowl. They lost.
We should have won that,
but they still. I mean,
got screwed.
Texas was coming off the national championship. Now, granted, it wasn't the same team without Vince Young, but still, Iowa kind of saved face a little bit. It put a sort of a positive spin on what was a six. Yeah, Drew Tate's his best year was his sophomore year. Then it just steadily got worse team-wise.
It did.
It just did. So, but no, I think it was interesting what Tim said. Kirk has obviously given him a lot of freedom, and you got to give Kirk credit. I mean, I think Kirk was probably more hands-on with Brian, partly because he had to be, because Brian didn't have Lester's experience, and because the offense wasn't producing.
Yep.
And I think Kirk realized I don't think Kirk was ever going to fire Brian. Do you? It had to be done.
Probably not.
It was done, but I do give Kirk credit for what looks like a nice rebound. From a really tough situation. From a really tough situation. Yeah, it looks like now we still got to see the passing game evolve, and they could end up going 8-5 this year, and still Lester could still have a good year.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, that's true.
So no, I think under the circumstances, I think Kirk did about as well as he could as far as finding an offensive coordinator to come in here. Because guys, remember, it was pretty bleak here 2 years ago.
Oh,
I mean, the nepotism and just the booing of Brian. It was not fun.
It was bad.
It was bad. And I give Kirk,
the offense was bad.
It was the worst. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And there was no excuse for it, and Kirk knew it, and Kirk accepted it. I know he didn't like it, but he accepted it, and I give him credit for Lester. Seems like a pretty good rebound hire in a tough situation.
It seems maybe even more than that.
I think
Time will tell.
I know Joe Philbin was a name. Obviously, I had somebody telling me it was a done deal early, and I know there was definite interest. But to me, just looking at it, I think Lester looks like a better hire than Joe Philbin would have been. That's just me, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Philbin, because Philbin can coach. Obviously, he knows how to. He did wonders with that offensive line early here. He was part of that initial rebuild of that offensive line, and what have you. But no, I think Lester. I think it's just a good hire. He seems to check a lot of the boxes, and I like his personality and how he represents Iowa football.
So I liked his answer to saying, yeah, I think we can get the same production out of our committee that we got last year.
And I do too.
And the other thing is with a more competent passing game, that opens up the running game more, too.
And I also like that he made a point of mentioning Terrell Washington's versatility. That's somebody they got to get on the field because, okay, maybe he's not your best wide receiver and he's not your best running back, but he might be your best at combining those things together. And I think they're looking at ways to get him on the field more, get him on with Moulton and Pat, get them all three on the field at the same time, put him flanked out, and I think we're seeing a lot. But the fact that he went out of his way to mention Terrell, to me, that's a good sign. That's his way of saying, yeah, we got to find ways to get this guy the football.
Yep.
There you go, breaking it down, Captain.
Yeah,
we didn't really dissolve. We stayed afloat. We stayed afloat.
Well, you still got 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, but callers have
callers have given up.
They've given up. They know that this show cannot be ruined. There's nothing that they can do to ruin this show.
So they're disappointed and just saying, "No, I'm not gonna."
I'm not gonna. All right. I guess it didn't really dissolve like I thought it would. There's no reason for me to call. But and I'm trying
to. Why don't you play Morgan Wallen?
Well, he's country. You don't play country.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. Or even if he crosses over, you got 2 country stations here, and one of them isn't doing well. K-Hawk is
doing good. Well,
is doing real well. Okay, the other one, Kiss whatever, is not, and never has. So, for us to kind of loosen our top 40 rock thing to play it doesn't make a lot of sense. And personally,
you don't like the guy.
I think he would offend some of our more progressive listeners who,
fair. That's your call.
With his use of
that's your call.
The N-word.
I agree.
And So, I mean, and it wouldn't be just one time he's used it, so I'm sorry, I'm not.
So is there a better chance we'd hear Manassas on here than Morgan Wallen?
Yes.
No, I don't know.
Well, we're not going to hear Manassas.
Well, Manassas didn't have any hits, did they?
No.
Steven,
at all.
wasn't that Stephen Stills?
Yes.
Yeah, I got an album. They're sitting on a picnic table.
Yes.
That's 10 years earlier than our format starts.
Yeah.
It looked like, I think the album came out in like 68.
Yeah.
They're sitting on a picnic table and they're all
They got a
smiling.
picnic table.
No, I loved Manassas.
I did too, but
it doesn't fit here. No.
Kids couldn't dance to it.
All right. I give up.
You got to be able to. That's my new rule. You got to be able to dance to it.
Is that okay? All right.
I just made that.
So do you
rule.
play the Bee Gees?
No.
You don't play like any of the stuff from Saturday Night Live or
No.
Saturday Night Fever?
No.
I mean, it's all top 40.
It's not. We don't.
Okay.
It's. No, we don't play. We play one ABBA song.
Now he did
Don't play a lot of disco.
Now he did say Billy Joel as his other choice. I think Billy Joel in his prime would come close to filling.
Oh,
Kinnick,
for
wouldn't he?
sure. In his prime.
Yeah, in his prime, like mid '80s or whatever. I think he would have filled.
Yeah.
Who at their zenith, at their apex, was more popular between Billy Joel and Elton John? Because I always kind of lump them together, even though they're different. Who would you say was more popular?
Good question. I don't know. Very.
Who do you like more? Whose music do you like more? I'd say Elton John slightly.
They're just so close.
I might go the other way. I think Elton's best song was his first hit, was Your Song.
See, mine's Rocket Man.
I like Tiny Dancer. I like
Tiny Dancer's good.
How about Little Genie?
Levon.
How about Little Genie?
Little Genie's good.
I think Rocket Man and Daniel. Those are my two favorite.
Candle in the Wind.
Spotify's just writing all this stuff down. You're going to come out here tomorrow, and it's going to be just big. They're going to have rope around the station. You guys, it ceased to exist.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I never did see either one in concert. I wished I would have. I had an
as
opportunity.
far as record sales, they're probably. Do you think they're probably pretty close?
Yeah. Yeah, I
kind of do too.
They're just like the same artist to me, really.
Though
Billy Joel is more show tunes than Elton John was originally.
Who do you think's richer?
Well, let's look.
I'm guessing they're between 300 and 500 million both. Don't you think? Are they that much?
Yeah, I would think so.
I know Billy's going through some health issues right now, isn't he?
Yes.
I believe so.
Well, let's see, Billy Joel.
But like Piano Man, that's a classic. I mean, I just
yeah.
love that song.
Net worth.
I'm going to guess 275 million. 275 million.
310.
Yeah, you might be right.
250.
So you were closer.
All right, Elton John, I'm going to say 315, 320 for Elton John.
Okay, let's look.
Did you ever see Elton John in concert?
350. No. I'll say 350.
I think I said 320.
650.
Wow. Wow.
Well, that probably says something about record sales as well.
Hunter, you ever see either one in concert?
I've seen Billy Joel in concert.
Yeah.
He was excellent.
Yeah, I've never seen either one.
He was at Iowa State.
Oh, the Iowa State Fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, at the auditorium.
Iowa State Auditorium. What do you mean?
Cy Stevens?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
650 million.
He's doing all right.
He's not bad.
Stabby. Minus $1.50.
That's his net worth?
Yes.
And it's probably owed to Ray.
Yeah. He got a hot dog. And Ray had to cover it.
Oh, hey, let me give a quick shout out. Needed my back door lock. The other day I went downstairs. My door was wide open because it blew open because the mechanism no longer could keep the door shut. Okay, so I had to get that replaced. Talked to one of our sponsors, Mike's Lock and E-Keys for Cars, but he says he's concentrating more on automotive. So I asked him for a referral, and he gave it to me. Guy A to Z lock service.
A to Z pretty much covers it all.
He only works nights and weekends, which is opposite most But he came over after another job last night, got me finished up in a half hour, perfect, very reasonably priced. His wife plays our auctions sometimes, so he was great. So thanks for the referral, Mikey.
Now I want to make a plea to whoever owns the house next to us.
Blow it up
on Briarwood. You need to fix our lawn. You got all
think they're listening?
The limber, yeah.
Can't you call the city on that?
I'm gonna call.
You're giving them a chance though before you call the city.
Yeah, just resod our lawn or reseed it or whatever. But get all the wood chips and everything off of the damn lawn. Or they'll be hell to pay.
All right.
I am a bad neighbor when I'm not a good neighbor.
Before we get violent, I wanted to make.
Would you agree with that?
Our buddy from the Outer Banks of Carolina, what's his name?
Sam
Walker.
He sent me that Mayberry book, and I appreciate it. It's a fun book. It's interesting. It's interesting that Andy went and basically lived on his own island. I mean,
that's pretty cool.
The Andy Griffith Show paid pretty well, and Matlock, obviously, he made a lot of money.
He got more money from Matlock.
Oh, I'm sure he probably did because times were way more.
And the deals were much better for the artists.
That thing went on 2 networks for 9 seasons.
But I remember seeing an interview with Ron Howard talking about at the end of Opie, he was getting paid a lot of money per episode for those days back in the early mid-'60s. Yeah, so I mean, think about though.
And his parents didn't screw him.
And think about though, a life completely lived in Hollywood. I mean, what a story he has to tell.
And he's remained pretty down to earth.
He really has.
Through it all.
He really has.
Yeah.
He's made some good movies. Did he do Apollo 13?
Yes.
Was that his?
He did.
Yeah.
That was on the other day. That's another one of those
Great
movies.
movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Acting is great in it, and Ed Harris is great as.
Didn't he do Space Cowboys too?
Yeah, that one didn't work for me. Was that like James Garner and all?
Yeah, it had James Garner in it.
Ridiculous.
I
didn't like that.
Why is it ridiculous?
I just didn't. Tommy Lee Jones. Who else? Clint Eastwood.
Well, yeah, old people.
Geriatrics.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't do much for me.
Well, fine.
Yeah, we're just.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's hard enough getting old. We don't have to be reminded about it with movies.
I thought it was a tour de force.
I'm sure you did.
Okay.
I think we have Abdul Hajj on again 9:30 Friday. And there is Iowa football interviews going on as we speak right now, so we'll have Iowa football content up later. And
Good,
of course, the women have their first media gathering this summer tomorrow at 10, and that's one. They have 3 more after that.
So you get to get an hour to watch practice.
I believe, we'll watch practice, and then afterwards we get select players, and then interview Jan Jensen.
So are you going to do that tomorrow?
Yes, I'll be over there.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I'll be interested.
I'll be over there to. I'll shoot some video. I'll tweet some stuff out, and then I'll write. And then Iowa is producing. Iowa's the university. We just use their stuff. They're providing audio for all this stuff and video. So we'll also link all their stuff too. So yeah, a lot of Hawkeye stuff going on right now for the summer.
Hello.
The best thing about Apollo 13 is Levon Helm as Ridley.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. He was in that.
Yes, he was. Good movie.
You talk about a unique singer. Levon Helm, man, his voice.
I've got one album of his.
Was just incredible.
Yeah. I've got an album of his, just him, and some of the songs I like, some of them are just boring. They're just boring.
Well,
just kind of him kind of talking to himself. But it's an album. He's sitting by this cabin, and it's like maybe I'll have to bring it in sometime and show it. What? Yes, that's it. I like it, but like I said, there's just some of the songs. I'm going to pass over this one.
We interviewed him.
Was he nice?
And yeah, he was nice, but
he felt he got screwed.
Yeah.
By who?
The band.
Yeah.
Because Robbie Roberts.
Oh, by his fellow band members.
No, he didn't like Robbie. He didn't really rip him when we interviewed him, but he didn't care for it. You could tell he didn't care for him.
Well, Robbie Robertson got the lion's share of the
money,
the songwriting royalties.
Well, who wrote most of their stuff?
It was Robbie Robertson.
Isn't that the way it should be?
Well,
it was supposed to be a partnership. Is what Helm said.
But if you're the one writing the songs, though, doesn't that give you an edge?
Yeah,
it does.
That's why Roger Waters is worth a little more than David Gilmour.
But they would also say that Robbie Robertson would sit down and say, "Okay, Levon, tell me about you were growing up, what were you feeling?
So he'd use other people to.
He would use their reminiscences, and then he would write the song. Okay.
Well, even on his own.
Remember his version of Broken Arrow, Robbie Robertson?
Yeah. We played 2 of his songs here.
Broken Arrow, I think, is one of them.
No, we don't. No.
Because that was really commercially successful.
Somewhere down the lazy river, and
that song doesn't do a thing.
Showdown at Blue Sky.
I mean, Rod Stewart does Broken Arrow too, and Robbie Robertson. Who did that first, Stewart or Robert?
That's not the Neil Young Broken Arrow, is it?
No. He wrote it, and then Stewart did his own version of it? Okay. Aren't they all dead now, the band?
No. Isn't... did Garth just die? He did.
Yeah.
So yeah. They're all gone.
Yeah, but he was just kind of very low key to where the interview could have been boring.
Okay, well, some of his songs were, like I said. But it's wild to think that I'm old enough. I remember when I was just starting to get into music was when one of the first things I watched was The Last Waltz. I remember watching that on a Friday night or whatever, and I was mesmerized. Now I have it. I mean, do you have that, Suter, The Last Waltz?
No, I've only seen it once, and it was about...
Well, I have it if you ever want to borrow it.
2 or 3 years ago.
I've got a really good...
Yeah, I would like to see it.
Yeah, I can bring it in because, I've got a really good CD collection of it. It's good stuff.
Hello?
Hi. Hey, I just wanted to give props to the Englert and all their sponsors because I went to see Steve Earle.
Uh-huh.
And that was it was a great night.
Oh, good.
He played with his sister, and he told all his stories from growing up and his life and his drug addiction. Wow, it was really nice. What a great town.
Well, all good. Right. I'm glad that you enjoyed
and
it.
You guys, too, man.
All right, appreciate it. We'll end on that note.
To eat or anything.
All right.
For you guys.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Well, good.
But also, I know you've been playing Beach Boys, but did you guys ever play Sail On Sailor? Or is that in your rotation?
We were going to play it, and then the war broke out. So
okay.
we got screwed. Yeah, I was going to play all these songs by the
ruins
Beach.
Everything. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
Hey, could I request that?
No, but thank you. Thank you.
Steve doesn't like requests. So the answer is yes, you can request it, but you're probably not going to hear it. It's not from Steve.
And with that,
you like Pet Sounds, the album?
Yeah,
I do too. I have it. I played it loud the day he died.
Oh no,
those are good songs and everything. Jim's got that on. Jim can play it on a Sunday.
Wasn't that his answer?
The Beach Boys blew me away. I mean, when I first heard In My Room, I sat down and listened to that 15 straight times to hear the harmonies and to absorb the
God
harmonies.
only knows.
It was incredible.
Just
an incredible song.
That's the one McCartney says he cries when he hears it?
Yeah.
Because it's so... So... The Beatles, did Brian Wilson respond to something the Beatles did with Pet Sounds, or is it the other way around?
No, that was his response.
To which album?
To
Abbey Road. No. Was it Sgt. Pepper's? Because Pet Sounds came out in 65 or 66, didn't it?
Because Sgt. Pepper's was 67.
No.
I thought Pet Sounds came out in 66. I could be wrong. That's right. Sgt. Pepper was the response.
It was 67.
Because I remember reading that the Beatles were like in awe after listening to Pet Sounds and like, what are we going to do to keep up with this? I mean, this guy's doing stuff that even, and then they responded with Sgt. Pepper.
They were doing a lot of the same things.
So Brian Wilson was obviously very, very gifted and talented. But also very troubled.
Very gifted.
Kind of weird. Wasn't he a little weird?
Yeah.
Extremely.
His father did it. I mean,
he had mental illness too.
Screwed up. Yeah. But he was showing mental illness when he was a kid, and his father ignored it.
Yeah, that's true.
Hello.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey,
I wanted to ask Pat. That was a hell of an interview today. That last guy's head screwed on right.
Thank you. Does. I agree with you. I think he does.
So you didn't like my questions?
Yeah, Suter was part of that too.
Yeah,
Paul.
I'm disappointed.
I ran the board.
Give him 3 years.
Give him 3 years for what?
to get us back to where we should be.
Where should Iowa be? On top of the Big Ten?
Oh, probably not. Maybe third or fourth.
Okay. No, I get what you mean, though. I get a positive vibe with him too. And you know me, I'm not a big homer, just waiting to push the company line. But I liked him. I like him very much. I think he showed enough last year for reason for hope.
Oh yeah. Hey Pat, I wish Tom would ask you if you had to fill Kinnick Stadium, who would you put in?
Mine would come down to
urns. There'd be all these musicians urns.
So it would have to be a band that's alive now, or can it just?
I think it has to be, don't you?
So then I get to be hard. I don't think Zeppelin would. Well, if the three Zeppelin guys got together, even though they're 80, and that's Phil Kinnick, wouldn't it?
No.
Don't you think it would Phil Kinnick now if Zeppelin got together?
Well, it's so close to UIHC that it's coming in.
Well, that helps. Don't you think Zeppelin?
If these young kids, they're starting to listen to old music.
Yeah, but judging from the responses we get, not as much as maybe we think.
Not really. They're not. No, they're not really.
I don't. Do you think as many people like when Led Zeppelin was like 20 years ahead of me age-wise and everything? So like.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think? I don't think as many people are listening to Led Zeppelin now as they were in the 80s and the 90s after they were long gone.
For sure.
Yeah, but no, that would probably be. I mean,
if they'd show up, you'd just have granite tombstones.
You think? You think Steely Dan now would fill?
No,
Zeppelin. I think they'd get, I think they'd get maybe 30,000 people but I don't think they'd fill
30 to 40.
Yeah.
But they're not going to fill.
I don't know, guys. I don't know that the Mark sold out when we saw him a few years ago. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they would.
No.
And the thing with Zeppelin is just because they haven't played so infrequently for the last 40 years. That's why I think.
And depending on how you marketed it and how you build it, and if it was a one-time deal, the only concert they were going to do, then I think it might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously that ain't going to happen. So that's my answer.
Hey, I have a couple suggestions.
Captain does not like suggestions.
Davenport in September at the Adler.
Who?
Bonnie Raitt.
Oh, I saw Bonnie Raitt a few years ago in the Quad Cities.
Was it good?
Oh yeah, she was great.
Okay,
I've seen her 2 or 4 times.
All right, that's suggestion number 1. What's your other one?
What do you think of George Thorogood to get hopped up with?
Nah,
I don't think he even filled the casino last weekend.
Never been much. I've never been much of a fan.
It was full.
Was it? But that's 2,500 people?
He's looking decrepit, but he's still got his voice.
He's bad to the bone, isn't he? He literally is bad to the bone now, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know George Thorogood appeals to a certain audience, and they love him, and he had never struck that chord with me.
Me either. I'm not a fan.
He's kind of a half comedian, too.
Was he?
Oh, yeah. He said the probation officer was in the backstage. And...
Okay.
All right.
Stevie Ray Vaughan?
I respect it. He was a great guitarist, but his music never really.
Well, if he came back live, he would.
Well, yeah, he definitely filled Kinnick.
He was the loudest.
All right, here's one. What if
the loudest musician
I've ever heard? Now, what if we do find out that all these years Jim Morrison's still alive, and all of a sudden the Doors without Ray Manzarek, of course, 3 of them come back? Would that fill Kinnick? 80-year-old Jim Morrison coming out of retirement, coming out of nowhere?
Probably not.
With a stage set up and a puke bucket.
Completely. Let's say he's been sober for the last 45 years.
All right.
How about Michael Murphy?
You mean Wildfire?
Yeah.
You betcha.
Well, he wouldn't fill rows 2 and 3 of Section E.
Yeah.
I know, but it's good when you want to relax.
Is that the one she ran call?
Yeah. Stop. Yeah. Careful.
Yeah,
oh, God.
Both die in the storm. Yeah.
How about the Dirt Band?
That's the nitty-gritty dirt. Yeah.
No, they're not filling anything.
No.
Except their graves.
Yeah.
How about the average white band?
No.
You guys got to look up Nathaniel Ratliff from Denver.
I've heard one song of his, and it was and I liked it.
Yeah, we play it.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah. You worry me.
Yeah, this live concert at Red Rocks.
Yeah.
He had about 8 horns there.
Yeah. Oh no! What I've heard of him, I like him. He certainly wouldn't fill up Kinnick, but he'd fill up City High.
Okay, now Paul asked me to play a request.
No.
He's not going to be your radio fodder.
Good answer, Paul.
Way to go, Paul.
See? All right, take care, guys.
All right. He's not going to play. He's not going to be the run of your jokes.
Evidently not. No.
Paul took a stand. He doesn't need your nonsense. Because you were ready to shoot down whatever he requested.
Yes.
What if he would have requested Taylor Swift?
Nope, I'm not playing.
Taylor Dane.
Taylor, did we play Taylor?
I'm sure you
The
do.
great Taylor Dane, or is she Taylor Great Dane?
Well, I think she's Taylor Dead Dane now, isn't she?
Oh, no.
I thought I read
she
where
played
died.
at the casino
okay.
a couple years ago.
For some reason, I thought I read where she died. I'm glad I'm wrong.
I would check it, but my phone is updating.
I'm glad I'm wrong.
So now the phone won't work. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate those.
Well, I think the Paul calls. Is that a good?
That was a
in?
great Paul call.
That was
Good.
One of his best.
Good Paul call. The Michael Murphy Wild was it? What's the
Wildfire?
Yeah, that song is.
Yeah, no.
I put it in the. Yeah, no, we don't. You're not going to be playing that.
No,
it's boring.
He wouldn't. He wouldn't fill up Deadwood.
How about Foxhead?
Deadwood.
It'd be close.
Would be a perfect play.
It would, actually.
Yeah.
That's where I think if Jim Morris would ever resurface, I think it would be the Deadwood, wouldn't it? He'd
feel comfortable
the
there.
People that when I was in school here, some of the same people
walking in and out of there.
Yeah. I was just sitting at Mickey's with Jan, and I looked over and I go, God, that looks like Jerry that I went to school with, And I got out of the Mickey's, and I hear, "Hey, Sobey!" It was.
That's funny.
Jesus, 50 years later. Hello.
I'll tell you one thing. I've sure learned my lesson, Captain. You guys take care.
All right. We'll end on that. Everybody have a good day.
All right. Got some police reports coming up with Captain Steve, Tommy Lang, HawkFanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.